Hello, good people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and my good name is Georgina George. So today I want to do a video about au pair requirements as of 2023. By this, I mean the documents that you need to compile and prepare when you're preparing yourself before you go for the interview to the embassy. At the embassy is where you'll conduct interview, or an interview will be conducted before you are given a visa for you to travel to a foreign country or to travel abroad for the purposes of au pair. I'm talking specifically about au pair because this is something that I've gone through, and this is the process that I did. So first in my list is you need a valid passport. And before I continue, if you see me checking down or looking down, I'm just confirming through my notes that I wrote for me to give you concrete information and the right information without missing anything. So the first in my list is a valid passport. If you're coming from a non-EU, non-Europeanish country, you must have a passport and it should be valid. Another document that is very concrete before you go to the embassy is application forms. The application forms of au pairing program, they must be duly signed and fully completed. Please don't go to the embassy with the documents that are not completed or without a stamp or signed. It has to be signed. The third important document that is needed, or something that you should take with to the embassy, is passports. And mostly they need 2 passports that have white backgrounds. Please don't go to the embassy with a passport that is blue, with a blue background or any other color. They always recommend for you to take a passport photo with a white background, because that is their requirement. And it should not be an old photo and you can tell the age difference. Please let it be as recent as possible and with a white background. Another thing that I have talked about is the contract. And as I said earlier, a contract is the binding document between you and your host family. So this is very, very important because it's also like a working permit or a working contract. And in this contract, the full names of the host family should be stated there. If they have children, it should have the ages of their parents, the ages of the children, the occupations of the parents, and also it should indicate working hours, language school, how much are you going to be paid. In this form is not a salary, rather is pocket money that you'll be receiving. All these things should be stated in a contract. And most of the time when you go to the embassy, part of your interview is you'll be interrogated or you'll be asked questions, and always cross-check your contract to make sure you have the details at your fingertips. Because when you come to a foreign country, this is the same contract that will help you to know your working hours, to know your rights, to know what you should be doing, and it will help you integrate with the schedule of your family and what are you coming to do, what's stated in the contract, just like any working contract across the globe or worldwide. Another document that is very important is the current registration of your host parents. So parents or families that live abroad, their system, all households are always registered. And when as an au pair you want to come over to a family, you need a copy of the document that shows that your host parents in Germany are registered. It's called the Meldebescheinigung. And you'll show this document at the embassy, you'll give these documents to the embassy, and they'll proofread when they're processing your visa. It is very, very, very important. Another document that is also important is the questionnaire from the host families. When you're doing your process, if you're using an agent, is always a little bit easier because they send the documents to the agent and the agent gives you, then you go through them. But if you're doing the process alone or using other agencies, you have to be keen how they do their paperwork. But a questionnaire that is fully filled and completed and also signed by the host family is also one of the key documents that is needed and required by the M. My list is the knowledge of German. As I was speaking earlier, or throughout in my videos, I spoke that the German language is a requirement for you to process your applications as an au pair. They only need a basic level of A1, and for you to be you want to go for it, A2 is always safer, but also you can try with A1. I know very many people who have tried with A1 and they made it. So when you can learn the language in any language school, but the only place you can do the exam is the Goethe exam, and at Goethe Institute, for example, in Kenya, and then you will sit for exams and you'll get a certificate. Please attach this certificate when you go for your interview. Take all your documents. If you have A1 or A2 level or B2 level, kindly take the document with you when you go to the embassy. A document that will be really of help is proof of academic studies, or if you've gone through trainings or if you've gone to university. It doesn't really matter, but these certificates will be of help because it shows you have been doing something with your life. You have covered for instance, in my country, you've gone through KCP, you've done KCP exams, you've done KCSE exam, of which that is mostly you have to prove 12 years of study in your country. And if you have more trainings, vocational trainings or college or nursing or kindergarten teacher training or communications training or uni studies you've done, this is always tick or a plus, and attach all your documents and all your trainings. Even if you took part in the Red Cross training, St. John's ambulance training, these are some of the points that, or these are some of the certificates that you can take as a backup to show you've been doing something. Another thing that you need to do is to write a motivational letter, and it's always encouraged to write it yourself. Try as much as possible to draft the motivational letter by yourself and know the details of what you're writing. When someone writes for you, maybe you may not get to read or proofread your motivation letter, but they always encourage to write the motivation letter with your own words. Understand what you have written there, what is your motivation to go abroad, and what are your future plans. Most of the time they need it in English and in German, so for you to be safer, just write 2 letters. For me, I wrote 2. Just make it as simple as you can. And the CV, this is the curriculum vitae, should be gapless, in that every year should be accountable for. For example, the years that you went for primary school, they are always intact. The years that you went to high school, they're always intact. And also, if you went for a training, very important to write or to note down. The problem comes in where you have a gap of 2 years and you cannot account for what you'll be doing for those 2 years. If you have been self-employed, please note that down in your motivation letter or also in your CV. That's why they say you need a CV that is gapless. Medical insurance. And in this case, the family is the one that is supposed to send you these documents because they are responsible for registering you and giving you a medical insurance. Before traveling to a country, you must have medical insurance. And because you're traveling for a long period of time that is 1 year, you really need a medical insurance. Kindly get that letter or that proof of that the medical insurance is paid for. So those are some of the documents that I researched, and website of the embassy. You can find all these documents, and they usually update this document. And also, point to note, being an au pair, you should be of age 18 to 26 years. Another point to note, if you come from Kenya, specifically from Kenya, you can only au pair in a country or in Germany specifically for a period of 1 year. So when you're applying for a visa, it is a long-term visa but only of 1 year. Another important tip that I need to tell you, and this should be at the tip of your fingers or at the back of your mind, please go to the embassy with complete application forms that are supposed to be signed. Let them be signed. If there's a stamp that is needed, let it have a stamp. And where it is needed of you to cross or kindly fill all the documents. When the documents are incomplete, or in your motivation letter says you went to university, you did this and this, but there's no documents that shows or to prove that you went through that process, when you take incomplete application forms, this delays your process, and the embassy can contact you to update or to send them documents, but this takes a very long while, and this delays your process. So for you to be sure, please go to the embassy with all documents. Another tip is the au pair process or the au pair program is only possible in a family where the German language is the primary, or the Muttersprache. Was ist Muttersprache? The mother tongue of the parents. And once in a while, you can find one parent comes from the EU and the other is not from the EU, but one of the parents or German language should be their mother tongue, Muttersprache. Sorry guys, Muttersprache is mother tongue in the German language. Those are the most of the documents that are needed when you go for your embassy, and kindly note of the tips that I've given you, and I hope that you have a successful process, and I wish you all the best when you're going through your process. If you have any question, kindly go to the comment section and we can engage, and I'll be you can also ask your questions, and I'll be ready to do another video and inform you of how to go about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying in this channel, and hope to see you in another video. Bye.